David Lammy.
Mr. Speaker, I should not need to remind anyone in this House that the Windrush scandal is a national disgrace.
Absolutely.
At least 11 people who were wrongly deported from the UK by their own government have died. At least 164 British citizens were wrongly deported or detained. Home Office officials have told the media that 15,000 individuals may have been harmed by the contempt that their department showed. 1 year since the scandal broke last week, the Home Secretary finally announced a compensation scheme to begin the process of reconciliation for the government's grievous errors. Mr. Speaker, the Home Secretary apologised again on behalf of the failings and repeated his promise to do right by the Windrush generation. Crucially, he told members of this House that there is no cap on the scheme and it will be based on people's needs. Mr. Speaker, his words seem to have provided false reassurance. In the response to the Windrush Compensation Scheme document he brought to this House, there was no detail of caps. Instead, this was quietly published online in a separate Compensation Schemes Rule document slipped out later on the 3rd of April. MPs therefore had no chance to scrutinise or question the truth that his department had set out incredibly strict caps to be awarded for different losses. A £500 payment for legal costs incurred. £500 for people who've been denied the chance to go to university. £1,000 for those wrongly obliged to leave the country under a so-called voluntary return scheme. And a mere £10,000 for people who were wrongly deported. Victims have correctly described these payments as peanuts and insultingly low. The Home Secretary, I say to the Minister, £10,000 is less than one Secretary of State's gross salary per month. Is this all that you've lost if you've been locked up, if you've been deported, if you've been made homeless? £10,000 is all that you would get from her department. Is this all it costs someone to be denied access to their family, friends for years and decades from their own country? Is this the price that you put on my constituents being deported for no wrongdoing and nothing that they have themselves done? Is this how this government values the lives of Black Britons? I say to the Minister, you promised to do right by the Windrush generation, but quite rightly many of them think that they have been misled. Mr. Speaker, let this be the final betrayal of the Windrush generation. Scrap the caps and compensate them properly for the wrongs that have been done to them.
Minister Caroline.